So today we continue with our class, Halachot of Brochos. Today is class number 42. We start with Shmiras, Sefer Halachot. So primary deterrent. Among the root causes of speaking Lashon Hara is one says that it is permissible, meaning that one convinces himself that his given statement is not Lashon Hara, when in fact it is. So basically a person the question would be a good question, if he never studied or she never studied laws of Lashon Hara minimum 3 or 5 or 100 times. So how would they know? From where? So right, a person can convince himself, yeah, this is not Lashon Hara, or he assumes himself that it is permissible to disparage certain individual, and that it may be even mitzvah to do so, when in fact such is not the case. So it is true in some individuals, we have to disparage them, and we have to publicize them that they are wicked. It is true 100%, but not with every person. So there is specific law, specific guidelines, whom and when we are allowed to disparage, right? But okay, but you must know the laws. Most people who speak or listen Lashon Hara do so out of ignorance and of the relevant laws. Thus, there is no alternative to study the laws, right? I mean, okay, even though they speak out of ignorance, is it going to help them? It's not going to help them, right? A person must learn. So if he has the time, he had the time on his hand, right? And instead he was watching sports. So a person would be punished 100%, as he did all of this transgression intentionally. Why? Because Hashem gave him respite. He gave him time, right, to study Torah, and he did not. He was watching sports, right? That's the thing. Thus, there is no alternative to studying this law. I mean, what is that alternative? We must study, as put forth in the Sefer Halachos. Every Jew must be fluent in the fine details of the law's proper speech, in order to know exactly what may or may not be spoken, and so that one can perceive as far-reaching effects of a negative speech. So Halachos is very clear. So everybody must be expert in the laws of Shmiras Haloshon, right? And in order to know when and how you can use your speech, right? And consequences of improper speech. Serious study of the relevant laws is a primary means of avoiding of the sin Lashon Hara. So okay, so yeah, so I mean there is no other way, alternative, just to learn it one by one and repeat over and over again. In fact, anytime a person feels dominated by evil inclination with regard to the specific sin, his best hope for improvement is through the study of the laws of that particular commandment. So that's amazing advice. So if a person is overcome, as they say, by a particular sin, right? So you have to strengthen yourself. How you strengthen yourself? You go to particular laws, to Shulchan Aruch or in some other relevant book, and learn it from there, and see the consequences, and see the great reward bestowed upon a person who is going to keep this mitzvah, whatever is it. He should study the relevant laws in great depth and all their fine details, and ponder them many times. So it's a second or third time in this paragraph, this piece, when the author said that we have to learn laws in great details, not just like a general, I know something vaguely. No, you have to know all of these laws in all of the details, in finite details, they say. In this way, the laws will become embedded in his mind, and the strength of the evil inclination will dissipate. Right, that's it. So I mean, the way I see it, a person have all the some of these evil thoughts, sinful thoughts. So he start adding holiness to himself, studying Torah. So this holiness is going to push away all of these sinister thoughts. As the Medrash states, and Bamidbar Rabbah 14:4, if you toil exceedingly in your commandments, in the command words, then the Holy One, blessed be He, will remove the evil inclination from you. So you work hard, and Hashem is going to do the rest. But we must do the first step. We must start working harder. The above is all alluded to the verse, that you may see it, the tzitzis, and you remember all of the commandments of Hashem and perform them. It says Bamidbar 15:39. As Rashi comments, remembrance of the commandments leads to their performance. So that's why we wear tzitzis out, right? So everybody can see, and it's not for everybody. It's for us. It's for us to see and remember all of the commandments. So tzitzis, the word tzitzis, numerical value is 600. We have five nuts, even though double nuts, but still it's like one nut, right? And 8 strings, 613. Okay, we stop here. All right, so we go into our Halachos of Brochos book, and we're in chapter 20. And it's new. Sorry, it's new topic, very interesting topic. And topic is Mayam Shalosh. So it says Hamichya, Hagefen, Hoetz. Introduction. So we're going to explain all of this that it all means. This chapter discusses the 3 important brachas. Number 1, Hamichya, the bracha we make after eating grain products. So from 5 species of grain, right? Number 2, Hagefen, the bracha recite after drinking wine. And number 3, Hoetz, the bracha made after eating fruits of the 7 species, such as grapes. Okay, so continue. So actually one more time. So after eating products of these 5 grains, whether it's baked or it's cooked, it does not matter if a person ate enough. So he will say this Hamichya, this long blessing, right? Or he or she drank wine, right? Also, the minimum is revi'is. In first cases, minimum is Kzayis. Kzayis is, we said it's 1 ounce, approximately 28 grams. Revi'is is approximately minimum 3.1 ounces, and the opinion is 5.2. Okay. So, but then we have to drink it or eat it in a short period of time, of course. Right? And eating fruits, Hoetz. So Hoetz is 7 fruits, right? That the land of Israel is blessed with. Okay, so continue. Note these brachas is also referred to as Mayam Shalosh. So actually, if you open a Siddur, so in Siddur they're not called Hamichya, they are actually called Mayam Shalosh. Okay. So and Mayam Shalosh is translated as resembling 3. Okay, brachas. Okay. This is because the bracha incorporates the essential elements of the 3 brachas of benching. So we finish laws of Birchas Hamazon, right? And we said there are 3 biblical one, three biblical blessing, and one rabbinical, and one and one what you call it, like a custom, right? So this Hamichya, and if you read the text and you compare it to Birchas Hamazon, so you see that the themes of the blessings are exactly the same. Right? It's for the land, for Yerushalayim, right? For satiation. Okay. So continue in section A. So now it's like a roadmap, right? Only like some like summary what we're going to discuss. In section A, we discuss their origin. Many Rishonim are of the opinion that the obligation to recite this bracha is Torah origin. So that's why it's, as we're going to see, it's very strict. So whatever is Torah origin is very strict. And meaning what? Meaning in the case of the doubts, you must repeat it. I mean, not repeat it, you have to say it, basically. That's the laws with Birchas Hamazon. Okay. Okay, so origin and rules to recite them. For example, after eating grapes, one must recite al Haetz in place where he ate. Right. So I mean, it's general blessing, general rule for everything. Right. But here is a little stricter. Okay. Section B deals with a text of 3 brachas. For example, when one bracha is made on Shabbos, a specific phrase is added, b'di'evet. If one forgot to include that phrase, the bracha is nevertheless valid. And that's the problem many times when people remember this blessing by heart. I mean, it's not such a hard blessing to remember, right? On one hand, but on another hand, like this, I mean, it's very fast. But when it comes to this addition on Shabbos or Yom Tov or Rosh Chodesh, so people they don't exactly remember the wording. Okay, and sometimes they skip. So after the fact, b'di'evet, so you're not obligated to repeat. Section C, discuss which food require one of these brachas. For example, al Hamichya is not appropriate for rice or kasha. So kasha they call it buckwheat. Buckwheat is a kasha. Okay, same thing. So so what is the problem with it says buckwheat? So like it sounds like it's from family of wheat. So wheat has different kinds, right? So all of these kinds are actually wheat. But the buckwheat is just named the same, similar sounding, but it has nothing to do with wheat. Okay. And rice also, what's the problem, right? So on rice we say mizoines, baremine mizoines, right? The initial blessing. But after we finish, we say barene fashos. We don't say al Hamichya. We don't say like it is mizoines. So it's like one. I would say rice is an exception. B'di'evet, so after the fact, the bracha is valid for rice, but invalid for kasha. So meaning what? That rice satiates. So many people around the world they don't have wheat, right? They don't have bread, or they eat bread, but from rice flour, right? So the staple food is rice, right? In Asian country, in African country, right? But in Europe, right, in Baghdad, so in here in the States, the main staple food is bread, not rice. So after the fact, if he says rice, so after the fact it's good. But on a buckwheat, no, it's even after the fact it's a wrong blessing because it does not satiate basically. Rice does, but this does not. Section G deals with mistakes. For example, if one drank wine and instead reciting al Hagefen, he recited al Hamichya. His yotzi, new bracha is not required. We actually spoke about it when we were discussing the laws of the wine, right? So we also said that wine is an exception because it has this exceptional quality to satiate, same as figs, right? Figs satiate. So if you say al Hamichya for figs, or even if you say, I think even if you say birchas hamazon, right, over the wine, so after the fact as well. Even if you say birchas hamazon after the figs, I think it's also valid. I mean, after we don't do that, but I'm not sure why would somebody do that. But okay, whatever happened. So after the fact. In section E deals with eating 2 types of food and forgetting to include one of them in a bracha. For example, one ate cake and grapes. He should recite al Hamichya ve'al Haetz, right? But said al Hamichya only. Is bracha valid? Okay, so let's start. Oh no, one more section. In section A, F discusses the situation when making bracha Achrona is questionable and offers suggestions to bypassing the doubtful situation. For example, a husband and a wife ate spaghetti for supper. He cannot remember if he recited al Hamichya. Can his wife motzi him? Okay, so that's a good question. So I mean, it's a very simple question, but we must know like all the details, of course, as we read in that book. Okay, so let's start. Section A, mitzvah to recite bracha after eating product of 7 species. Number 1, origin of miyam shalosh bracha. Okay, immediately prior to the commandments to make bracha, on the Torah mentioned bread and also the 7 species. Okay, this indicates, according to many Rishonim, that there is a Torah obligation to make bracha Achrona after eating product of the 7 species. So let's see, there is commentary. So the 7 species, when we say many times 7 species, this is 7 species that the land of Israel is blessed with. Okay. One second, one commentary. The issue of whether or not the bracha midaraisa has halachic implication, as discussed in section F of this chapter. So, as we said, I mean, if it's biblical or rabbinical, it's technically irrelevant. We must say it. Or what is the difference who said it, right? On one hand. On another hand, if the question arises, whether we have to say it or not, if we're in doubt, so that's, as we said before, that comes into play, right? We must know it's biblical or rabbinical. Continue. According to this view, where there is a positive Torah commandment to recite Hamichya after eating grain products such as cake, noodles, and recite Hagefen after drinking wine or grape juice. Also, there is a positive commandment to recite Haetz after eating olives, dates, grapes, or raisins, figs, and pomegranates. Okay, so that's the core of this blessing. So let's read it again, and we're going to explain. So we say if it's a Torah obligation, right? So to say Hamichya. So Hamichya we say after we eat all of this grain product, right? But not bread. It might be from bread family, but not bread, right? So what is the bread family, but not bread? As we said, the cookies, right? The cakes from bread family, but not bread, because they were made from the same from the same dough, or some kind of pies, all of these things, right? Or it was cooked, right? Cooked meaning what? You have spaghetti, you have pasta, noodles. They say, okay, all these beautiful things, tasty. So you have to say this blessing, right? Or if you drink wine or grape juice and wine have exactly the same status, but you must know for sure that it is a grape juice, not a grape drink. Yeah, they sell grape juice drink, even though there is a sign of kosher there, but it's not grape juice, right? You cannot say this blessing. You cannot say beverages Hagefen on that blessing, right? Because it's too much water. I mean, even it has some taste of the grapes, but it's not grape juice. Okay. And also there is a positive Torah mitzvah to say that the third part of this blessing is what? If he ate olives 1, dates 2, right? Grapes or raisin 3, figs and pomegranates. So all of the 5. So 5 this and 2 grains actually. So 2 grains from the Torah and others our rabbis just derived by the logic. Okay. Other 3. So 2 were given by the Torah, and 3 I would say just I don't remember what did they derive by the logic or Moshe Rabbeinu told them. This part I'm not sure, but and the result we know there are 5 grains. Continue. Other Rishonim have the opinion that the Torah commandment to make a bracha refers only to bread. Okay. So meaning if it's bread, so you make you're obligated to say after blessing. If not, so the after blessing becomes rabbinical mitzvah, and it's one of the 7 mitzvahs. So rabbis added eyes, or if somebody asks you, only 7 mitzvahs. That's it. So this is one of them. Okay. According to this view, benching is the Torah origin, while Hamichya and Hagefen and Eretz are the Rabbanan. Okay, benching, we say, so according to this view, second view, if somebody ate bread, he must say blessing after the bread. It's Torah obligation, and all others meaning these three. Hamichya for grain products, so the baked products, right, or cooked. Hagefen for wine or grape juice, and Eretz for these 5 fruits. Okay. So it's as we see, it's uncertainty. So, and of course we cannot take the most stricter opinion and put it just in the garbage, right? Chas v'shalom. So we must take it into consideration. In many cases, as we learn throughout this book, we have to find like middle ground, middle road, when we can satisfy all of the opinions. It's of course after the fact. The straight way is to say blessing before and say blessing after. There is no question about it. But we're talking about after the fact. So number 2, Kzayis eating with the Kidei Achilas Praas. Okay, so let's see. Miyam Shalosh. So Miyam Shalosh, as we said, there is three blessings. Blessing that consists of 3 parts, right? Apologize. Blessing on three kinds of foods. Miyam Shalosh may be recited only if at least 1 Kzayis of product of 7 species is eaten. A Kzayis must be eaten within Kidei Achilas Praas, slightly more than 3 minutes, according to many Paskim. This halacha is discussed more fully in Demdum 1, section A, chapter 17, section B. Okay, so let's try to understand. As we said in the introduction, okay, you eat this food, it's very good, but there is a minimum requirement. So there is no minimum requirement for initial blessing. So even if you want to eat like few crumbs of bread, so you had like a bread cutting board, right? So and now you have a few crumbs of bread left. Of course, you don't want to throw them. It's not a good idea to throw the crumbs, unless you want to become poor and that's where you go. I would say just that's what you do. You throw out crumbs. Otherwise, not advisable. You save them, right? And then you eat them. There is no problem. But if you want to just eat them, so after the meal, so you finish, you say Birchas Hamazon, so you must go wash your hands, of course without blessing, and say blessing on these few crumbs, whatever you want to eat, right? Of course you don't say the after blessing, but a blessing before, you must say it on any amount, right? So, but minimum amount to say the after blessing is a Kzayis. So Kzayis, as we said, 1 ounce approximately, and 28 grams approximately, plus minus. But we can rely on this opinion, right? And this 1 ounce is not enough, right? It's there is second condition, and second condition that this 1 ounce must be eaten in a certain period of time. Why? Because if you go eat like in small increments, like small pieces, right, over the long period of time, you're still going to be hungry, right? But if you eat like this Kzayis piece of bread, cookies, let's say, I don't want to say bread, cookie, right? You cookie in one shot, you eat it, so you feel some satiation. If you break off little pieces like over a long period of time, you're not going to feel anything. Right, so that's what our sages, of course, knew. They say, so what is this period of time that you must finish this 1 Kzayis, 28 grams? So they say a little more than 3 minutes. So the most commentators say 3-4 minutes. But there is some opinion, very lenient, but they say up to 9 minutes. Okay, so preferable one more time, 3 to 4 minutes, but up to 9 minutes. Okay, so in 3 to 4 minutes, you have to eat this 1 ounce. Okay, continue. So, and it's not only with cookies, it's with everything, right? Continue. Time limit. There is a time limit within which Miyam Shalosh Brocha or other brachas Achrona may be recited. This halacha discussed more fully in chapter 10, section C. Okay, I'm going to just give a brief review what we said there. So there we said it depends how much he ate, right, and how much satiation he's got. So if it's a little snack, like a candy bar or I don't know something, right, or just 1 ounce, like few cookies. I don't know how many. Like it depends on the cookies. Let's say I don't know whatever number of cookies to make 1 ounce. 3, 4, 5 cookies, depends on the cookies, right? So the outsiders say you have up to 20 minutes, tops, right? But if you ate a lot and you're satiated and you're full, right? So you might have more than that. So how much? Up to 72 minutes, right, for cookies. For bread, when the person had the whole meal and stuff like that, so of course he has much more time. More than 72 minutes, but we try to say, even though some opinions say that you have much more, we try to stick to 72 minutes, not to get confused. Okay. So after that, or if he feels hungry, that's it. So even after half an hour, he ate bread, let's say, and he still feels hungry. That's it. So he cannot say Birchas Hamazon. That's too late. I mean, if he ate a little piece, I guess. Okay, continue. Number 4. Must be recited in a place where the food was eaten. Because the Hashuv, importance of Miyam Shalosh Bracha, Chazal instituted some of the same extra requirements for recital Miyam Shalosh Bracha as those instituted for benching. So benching in the same Birchas Hamazon. Like the benching, Miyam Shalosh Bracha must be set in a place where one ate. Okay. So meaning the proper requirement, the initial requirement is what? You finish eating your cookies, your pasta, your whatever you finish eating. So let's say there was no bread. So anyway, with the bread or without bread or just with this pasta, you must say this Miyam Shalosh blessing in a place where you ate. You're not allowed to leave. Therefore, after eating mizoines, drinking wine or grape juice, or eating one of the fruits of the 7 species. So I mean, we say 7, but fruits are actually 5. Just so you know, right? But everybody says 7 because that's what Torah said. It's praises for 7 species, okay? But fruits 5. One should recite Miyam Shalosh Bracha before leaving the place where he ate. Okay. So continue. So basically, before, but one more time with any bracha, don't get up from your chair, don't touch your phone, don't do anything until after you say the blessing for after the food. Right? That's the thing. Continue. Okay, so looks like it's connected to the previous one. Regarding what to do if b'diavad one left the place where he had eaten seafood note. Okay, so but I mean, somebody called him. He has to run to work. I don't know what happened. Okay, so let's say a person was on his lunch break, and now they call him. They need him immediately. Whatever, right? And he has to run. In chapter 17, section D, we learn that we learn what to do if one left a place where he had eaten bread and remember that he had not benched. According to many poskim, the rules discussed there also apply to one who ate mizoines products and left the place where he had eaten without reciting Hamichya. According to some poskim, the rules apply to one who ate fruit of the 7 species and drank wine and left without reciting Eretz or Hagefen. Okay, that's so just to remind us what we said there. So it's proper, first of all, not to leave, and even if he left, he must return, right? But if it's possible, right? So if it's too hard for him to return, right? But he knows if he is going to go to the next place, to his destination, when he arrives to this destination, there are always cookies. Also cookies or whatever he ate, cookies or cakes. So if he can eat some of this also there, say, of course, say blessing and say, so he can say that after blessing, including whatever he ate in the second place and whatever he ate in the first place. So that's one of the solution. So first solution, come back. Second solution, do this. And in some cases, when a person drove too far and now for him to return, it's the time for which one is able to say Birchas Hamazon or Birchas Hamazon or Me'am Shalosh is going to pass. So there is no point for him to return. So of course, in this, after the fact, he can say whatever he is. But it's not proper. That's the summary of what we said there. Okay. Sorry. And we also said that some poskim require the rule was stringent, right? And about not only this cookie and cakes, but also about the wine and the fruits. These five fruits. These pomegranates, these grapes, and others. Okay. So number 5, sitting. Since Birchas Hamazon required extra kavanah, so kavanah is intention, right? Because it's longer, because it's biblical, and it should be recited only while sitting. Likewise, the Miyam Shalosh Bracha should be recited only while sitting. So, as we said, there are many parallels between Birchas Hamazon and this Miyam Shalosh. Okay, so there you have to sit all the time. Of course, I mean, if somebody was standing, I don't know why. So he's in the forest. There is nowhere to sit. I don't know, wherever or somewhere. There is no place to sit, and he was eating standing, even though it's not proper. So, and of course, there is no place to sit. So he would be saying this blessing also standing, but proper to sit. F. Commentary. The poskim liken the recite of Miyam Shalosh Bracha to recite of Birchas Hamazon with regard to kavanah. Okay, like benching, one should be especially careful and circumspect to recite Miyam Shalosh with the proper kavanah. So before the person starts saying, for example, if today is holiday, so just review what addition I have to say for holiday. Or today is Shabbos, I have to see what addition I'm going to say for Shabbos, because it's not very often that person would eat like cake, for example, not in the course of the meal, but by itself. I mean, maybe some people eat, but usually like it's not very common. So meaning what? I mean, it's not proper. It's not very common, and that's why a person does not necessarily remember this addition for Shabbos and where exactly he has to add it. Right? That's why he has to review it and put his state of mind in prepare himself that he's going to do a biblical mitzvah, right? According to some poskim. So it's proper in order to have kavanah, right, intention. So many things we do sitting, and that's why there are different customs how to do, for example, Kiddush, right, on Friday night or Shabbos day. So some Sephardim, I think they stand because it's a Zohar, so whoever followed the Zohar, but many Ashkenazim, they actually sit. Not everybody, but some of them, right? More Litvish ones. So they would sit through the whole Kiddush. So everybody would say, why everybody sit? Maybe it's not proper. Maybe it's more respectful. When you stand, poskim say absolutely not. It's more respect when you settle down. You sit, you're comfortable, and you know exactly what you're saying. You're not in a rush, right? So that's two different schools of thoughts. Whatever you do is basically is good. Some people do like this, some people do like that. You just follow your custom if you have one. Okay, continue. Deterrent. So he was not sitting, he was standing. Deterrent, however, if Miyam Shalosh Bracha or even Birchas Hamazon were recited standing or walking, it is valid. So many people know Birchas Hamazon by heart. Right? And it's not a big achievement, but he would start like cleaning the table and saying Birchas Hamazon. That's very improper. So even b'diavad you can stand, okay, after the fact you can stand, but do something or check your messages on the phone or do other things, it's very, very improper when you say the blessing. Okay, any questions on what we said so far? Go ahead.
Yes, how about Rab?
Yes.
So, like us, so we shouldn't sit down when we do Kiddush.
So okay, all right. So there are two customs, as I said. There are actually three customs. So we can actually. Just so I know, I wanna just say something. So I don't see if I'm not looking at the screen, or I'm looking without my glasses. I don't see when somebody raises hands. So if you have a question, just start speaking, please. Right. So it's no offense. So it's actually better for me. Right. So the most common custom, what people do today, is actually when they say the Kiddush standing, and then it's according to all of the opinion. When you drink the wine or grape juice, whatever you drink, you have to do this while sitting. That's for sure. So me personally, I do standing, and as everybody drinks sitting. But that's the most common custom, right? Even because of the Kabbalah, this and that. But as I said, many like Litvish people, they would sit the whole the whole procedure. Same is Havdalah. So it's proper to have intention. That's the explanation. Understand? Okay. So you can choose any custom, wherever is more comfortable to you, but it has to be accepted by everybody in your circle, right? So, for example, if people came to your house, let's say they're accustomed to sit, during the Kiddush they have to stand, or your family. So if you decided that you're going to stand, so everybody must stand. It cannot be that you stand and they're sitting. It's not proper. You understand? Because when you say Kiddush, everybody obligated to say Kiddush. Everybody separately, right? But one person can include everybody in this mitzvah. Why? Because Jewish people are responsible for one another, right? So if somebody is obligated to do mitzvah and he does not know the text, cannot read this that. Okay, he has a heartache, whatever ache, right? Or an elderly person. So I can do the Kiddush for him, even though I did mine. So I have I said already, all of the blessings. I can go to his house, to her house. Not her, I'm not going to her house. Let's say there is her husband there. It's not proper for men to go to women's house and women to go to men's house and seclude there. Even he's 15 years old and she's 107. Does not make any difference, but it's very important to remember that. So on one hand, you want to do mitzvah. On another hand, you don't want to do mitzvah through the avera. So it just came to me this case, right? That people were secluded and it's not proper, right? So just so you know. So if you came to visit your friend and you knock at the door, his wife is open the door, come in, and he said, so he's not there. Okay, I'm going to wait. He said, no, come in. I want to ask you about your wife. No, you want to ask me about my wife? Come outside. We stay on the porch, like outside of the building, and we can talk. So everybody see what's going on. But I'm not going to come to your house and be with a married woman, even not married woman, with a closed door. Okay, that's not proper. Okay. Any other questions? All right, no problem. So we continue. Okay, so B, make it. Okay, so after last thing we said, after the fact, if he say this miyam shalosh standing after the fact, no problem, but it's not proper. Make it so basically, I would say, so people in the rush. What people in the rush? So you know that you, like, before you start eating, you know that you would need like 2 minutes, whatever minutes to say the after blessing. So why? And so you know that quarter to whatever, you must leave the house, otherwise you're going to be late. So watch your time. So give yourself 4 minutes. Finish eating before 4 minutes before you need to leave the house, and say the blessing. Don't rush like say the blessing while you're walking out. That's not proper. Okay, so it's as we always say, it's good to be organized. Okay, so B, makeup of the bracha. Okay, resembles birchas hamazon. The bracha Achrona for the products of the 7 species is called miam shalosh. The bracha incorporates the essential elements of 3 blessings of birchas hamazon. Okay, into one bracha. It is therefore referred to miam shalosh, resembling 3. Okay, so just 1 second, let me see what it ends. Okay, so last sentence we're going to say both birchas hamazon and miam shalosh are classified as brachas aruchas, long brachas. So that there is short blessing and a long blessings. Okay, so this one of the long blessings. Okay, so let's see. So there are a few commentaries, so let me read maybe one more time and we're going to get to the commentaries. So bracha Achrona for the product 7 species is called miam shalosh. This bracha incorporates the essential elements of the 3 brachas of birchas hamazon into one bracha. So G. Okay. Commentary. The first bracha of birchas hamazon expresses acknowledgement for the food we ate, for satiation, right? Chazon, right? That's what we say. The acknowledgement it contained in a phrase of Hamichya or Hagefen. So first line of this blessing is corresponding to the first blessing of the birchas hamazon. The second bracha expresses our thanks for being given Eretz Yisroel. Right. So this phrase. This is paraphrased when we refer in the bracha Achrona to the land which is desirous, good, and spacious, etc. Okay, so I mean that's for the land. So first one is we thank for satiation that we ate, right? And satiation is nice and healthy, right? Second blessing for the land of Israel. The Torah bracha birchas hamazon is plea for asking for return of Yerushalayim. Right, that's what we need. We need Yerushalayim. This is paraphrased in bracha Achrona is a plea asking Hashem to have compassion on His people and rebuild Yerushalayim. We need Yerushalayim, right? Return us and cause us to rejoice in rebuilding, etc. So you see all of the parallels in the short, of course, in a shorter version we have in our what is it? In our miam shalosh. The first bracha, birchas hamazon, acknowledgement of Hashem goodness. Right. So that's what when we learn about birchas hamazon, we said this is rabbinical. Right. This incorporates the near end of bracha Achrona in a statement that Hashem is good and beneficent to all. Okay. So that's we just draw the parallel how they correspond one to another. So it was G. 1 second. So that's why we call that this blessing Yam Shalosh, meaning what the direct translation, literal translation, resembling 3. Commentary. Although Yam Shalosh actually incorporates 4. Brachas and call resembling 3, since the fourth bracha is not part of the original text of birchas hamazon, which is it parallels. Okay, so original birchas hamazon is biblical. We said 3 blessing, so that's why miam shalosh. Even though there is 4 blessing for good land, for good, and he does good, but it's all extra. Okay, continue. So both birchas hamazon and miam shalosh are classified as the long blessings. Brachas aruchas. Commentary. Brocha Arucha consists of two distinct parts. Number one, long opening bracha, and number two, short closing bracha. For example, Hamichya has a long opening bracha, starting with Baruch Ato, blessed are you, right, etc., and ending with a closing bracha, Baruch Ato, Baruch Atah Hashem, Al Hoetz Vel Hamichya. Okay, so it's a very short ending. This distinction is noted in section D. We're going to get of this chapter. We're going to get it. So there is a long blessing. For example, long blessing. What would be like that we say after the bathroom? Asher Yot. So this is also a long blessing, and there are blessings like that. Okay. So Birchas Hamazon is a long blessing, even though it's split in part, but it's one blessing. And this Hamichya is also one blessing. Okay, so number two, reference to Shabbos and Yom Tov, etc. The Miyam Shalosh bracha, like benching, has a special phrases which are to be recited on Shabbos, Yom Tov, and Rosh Chodesh. So Shabbos, Yom Tov, and Rosh Chodesh. On Hanukkah and Purim, however, unlike the benching, a special phrase is not added to Miyam Shalosh. So when we say Birchas Hamazon on Hanukkah and Purim, and we always say because Hanukkah, we always say, on Hanukkah we say if it's Shabbos, so you're obligated to eat meals, right? Or it's if it's what is it? If it's Rosh Chodesh, right? So there's Rosh Chodesh on Hanukkah. So you say also this addition. But on Purim, there is an obligation to have a meal on Purim. There is a separate obligation. So for sure, you would say this addition in benching of the Purim. Okay. So it was J. 1 second, where's my J? Okay. So technically, we have to add all of these additions on Shabbos. Okay. Next one. Special phrase for the products grown in Eretz Yisrael. So in Eretz Yisrael, blessing before the same, but after blessing is not the same. It's not. Right? So we're going to see where's the difference. Okay. Products of Eretz Yisrael. The fruits of the 7 species grown outside of Eretz Yisrael. The closing phrase ends with al chaperos. Literally on the fruit. For the grown in Eretz Yisrael, however, the closing phrase ends with al chaper reischo, right, on her fruit. So technically, basically, if you look in your cedar, it has all of these conditions there. So don't worry, it is there. So just remember. So many times when you see in states. There are many they have a lot of fruits that they import from other countries, but in Israel not so much. They mostly go with the local fruits. So if you're in Israel, so most likely when you're going to eat fruits, they're local. So you know what blessing to make. Most likely. Okay, continue. For wine from grapes grown outside of Eretz Yisrael, the concluding phrase is Hagefen, on the wine. For the wine made with the grapes grown in Eretz Yisrael, the closing phrase is V'al pri Hagefen, right, on her wine. So I mean, when you buy wine in Israel, or even here you buy Israeli wine, that's what you have to say on her wine. Okay. And it should be in a cedar. Okay, continue. For a grain products, that the closing phrase is Hamichya, so all of these 5 species, right? On the sustaining food. So Hamichya translated on sustaining food. The minhag is to use the same closing phrase for the grain products of Eretz Yisrael as well. Okay, so that's easier. Continue. B, based on where it is grown. The use of these special phrases is based on where the product are grown rather than where they are eaten. Right? These special phrases are not used for the products grown outside of Eretz Yisrael, even if they're eaten in Eretz Yisrael. So sometimes they import, like for example, we were in one of this, I don't remember what city, there is supermarket, and there is many American there. So it's all of this American food, like this Kedem grape juice, right? It's there. It costs a fortune. We converted. It's like almost $10 a bottle, which is a lot. And it was like, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago or more. $10. It's a lot of money, especially for them, right? So, but since it grows here in New York and California, so. Even though you drink it in the Eretz Yisrael, you still say a regular blessing. For example, if a person living in Eretz Yisrael makes a Kiddush on French wine, he must end his Brocha with Hagefen, so regular one. A person living in the United States who makes a Kiddush on wine from Eretz Yisrael must end the Brocha with Hagefen. So basically, you always have to see, like on the back of the bottle where this wine is made, unless you know where is it made. Okay, uncertain origin. So you don't know. Sometimes maybe they don't say what is it, but usually they say product of Chile or product of Australia, product of Israel. Okay. Uncertain origins. If one is uncertain as to whether or not the product was grown in Eretz Yisrael, he should close with a general phrase Hagefen or ala peiros or Hagefen. So I mean in regular. So if you're not sure, so since majority of the products are not from Eretz Yisrael, so that's what you say. But if you are in Eretz Yisrael, that's what I say. So I would presume that it is a local fruits. Okay. D, Deterrent. B'diavad, if one ate products from Eretz Yisrael and recite the general phrase Hagefen or ala peiros, the Brocha is valid. So Hagefen is after the wine, ala peiros after the fruits. Just translation. However, if one recites the special phrase in Hagefen, Halagafno, right, or ala peiroseho, for the products grown outside of Eretz Yisrael, it is questionable whether or not the Brocha is valid. So if he said only on a fruit, right? So if you thank you Hashem for the fruit, there is no problem. I mean, okay, maybe he would need to say that the fruit is grown in Eretz Yisrael, but after the fact there is no problem. But the problem is it's questionable, as they say, if he said that it's actually fruit from land of Israel, but it's not. That's the issue. So in the first case, whatever he said is true after the fact, his statement is true, but in the second case it's not. It's never true. Right? Regarding what to do in cases where making new bracha is questionable, see this chapter, section F. So section F, I guess they put together all of this questionable things. Okay. Number 4, Hamichya, Hagefen, Hoetz can be combined. So okay, so it's I mean they say can be combined, they must be combined. Since Hamichya and Hagefen, Hoetz have a common text, they can and should be combined in the same bracha. For example, if one ate cake and grapes, he should not recite two distinct brachas. So you must combine, right? For example, Hamichya and also Hoetz. So for cookies and also for this grapes, right? Rather, he should make one blessing and include specific phrases for both cakes and grapes. This is Brocha Achrona. Thus, Brocha Achrona is Hamichya and etc. and val Hoetz. So if you look in your siddur, so it says clearly. So you say this and this and this. So of course you say and if you ate this pomegranate or grapes, or if you drank wine. So otherwise you don't say. You just say whatever you need to say. Okay. So continue. When reciting in combined bracha, the order should be as follows: Hamichya, so on cookie or cake first, right? Hagefen second, meaning on the wine, and Heetz third. Okay. Any questions on what we said? We finished that section.
Yes, Rav.
Go ahead. Yes, please.
So here's a scenario. Say I take my wife out to eat for dinner or lunch or something, and we have fish and a salad. No bread or anything like that. Now, can I say the blessing after we done eat for the both of us, or do we both have to say separate?
Okay, that's a good question. So the properly everybody have to say blessing after they eat separately. The only exception is the Birchas Hamazon. Birchas Hamazon, like after we eat bread, but otherwise, yeah, we say separately. And it's also proper that everybody would bless their own food also, separately. You understand? So this blessing on the bread that we say after the Kiddush, it's exception. And same with the wine, right? When we say I'll Hagefen before drinking wine, right, or Kiddush wine. So and even though we're going to distribute wine, everybody is included in this wine, right? But those are exceptions. Otherwise, we have to bless separately. But after the fact, so if for example, I'm not talking about you, but somebody is sick, right? Somebody is sick. So his wife is sick and she's tired and this and that. So she said, please say a blessing and keep me in mind. So in this case, yeah. So after the fact, so he can keep her in mind because she's obligated to say, he's obligated to say. So after the fact, so yeah, he can include it. But proper in the beginning, everybody says separately. Okay. So bread is the exception, wine is exception, because it's one mitzvah for everybody. But here, like when you go out to eat, or you sit down, like it's dinner time, you're not obligated to eat. You understand? Okay. Any other questions? Go ahead.
So it's only if it's bread included, I'll say for the both of us.
Yes.
So we go have lunch or dinner or whatever, and we have fish and a salad and bread.
Yes.
So I go ahead and say for the both of us.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And just a note. I mean, I don't know where it came from, but just a note that some people think that, and I know many people who think that there is no problem to eat salad or fish in a non-kosher restaurant, even if it's a kosher fish. Like they know it's salmon, steak, or tuna. So I'm not talking about you. I'm talking in general. So because I heard it many times that there is one guy that in a shul that I used to go, and the guy is unfortunately not very observant or not observant at all. He was, then he became a little observant, right? So he had this huge non-kosher restaurant, huge, like on a waterline, the top of the probably 5 stars. I don't know, but like top real estate for sure, right? And some guy from the show, he said, yeah, I went yesterday to his restaurant. I almost felt like, I say, how is it possible? It's not kosher restaurant. Yeah, no, I ate fish. You understand? So first of all, I looked at this guy, like, you normal? First of all, even if fish is kosher, right? Let's say it's kosher fish. So it was fried on, they fried the pig on this frying pan, and now they fry or shrimps, or shark, whatever these people eat everything. So they fried you kosher fish. Psh. So this fish already is you eating shark or you eating shrimps and stuff like that. So it would absolutely not be. It's not permitted to eat in any non-kosher restaurant, unless it's I don't know. You take I don't know, whatever you take from. There is some leniency if you take I don't know, like coffee, like black coffee, nothing, without any flavor, right? And same with with the salads. So what's the problem with the salads? The problem is bugs, and it depends on what kind of bugs. So people can transgress different number of sins. So it's from I'm not sure if it's only there is such a bug is on that one sin transgress. Maybe there are. So it's from 1 to 6. So with one bug or half of the bug, person can transgress many sins. So why? Because they not obligated to check the lettuce and all of this. What is it? All other greenery. They're not obligated to check, right? And there are many times we used to buy this. Like some kind of lettuce. So we would wash it a few times, like special soap, special this, special that, and then I would check under the magnifying glasses, right? So with lettuce it was like straightforward, you just take time and you can check. But other things like cauliflower, somebody asked me cauliflower, we bought it like a few times, like it was clean, I spent a lot of time checking, but then one time we washed it 3 times and I saw this bug, one dead bug, on this bug, and so I said, that's it. It's impossible to check 100%. So since then, like a long time ago, we stopped, even though it's clean and this, and they promise it, we don't buy it. You understand why? Because of the bugs. And of course, in this non-kosher restaurant, they don't check for these things. Of course, for them it's normal. Even according to government regulations, it's absolutely normal for them to have a certain amount of bugs per like square, I don't know, inch or square foot, I don't know, whatever measurement there is. So for them it's normal. For us, if you have a kosher restaurant, you have to hire kashrus agency, and they give you this mashgiach, the person who oversees, but he's not like he reading newspapers or listening to the lectures. No, he has no right. He has to oversee things, and one of the things that he does, he washes all of the vegetables. Right, so if you see mashgiachs in a Chinese restaurant, kosher Chinese restaurant, he constantly runs around, he's not allowed to give this job to the workers, not Jewish workers. He must do it himself. So just okay. Any other questions? We're going to stop here. So any topic, whatever you want.
Thank you, Howard Rav. Baruch Hashem, we only eat at kosher
No,
restaurants.
I know. Again,
Yeah.
so it's not against you. It's or anybody. It's like you started the topic. It came to my mind just to warn everybody. So because as I said, this guy who went and ate fish. This guy could read Torah. I just give you this example without preparation. Sometimes the person who reads Torah for us would not come. Right? Other people would not touch it because without preparation, that's too much. This guy, they call it this guy, said, no, please. He comes to start reading. So to say that he's not knowledgeable, he's ignorant, is an overstatement. And he did not know about the fish. Like he said, it did not cross my mind. So you're sure? Okay. So, all right, Baruch Hashem. So, all right, any other questions? Any topic? Okay, no problem. So we stay here. We stop here then. Okay, no problem. So I wish you good Shabbos. And one thing I wanna add, there is no Havdalah. So after Shabbos, so please check your local calendar. Right? Please check your local calendar because the fast starts on Sunday. Right? I'm talking about Sunday. The fast of Tisha B'Av starts with a sunset, not with the ending of Shabbos, with the sunset. So it's like I don't know what's the difference. It's like 45 minutes. 1 hour depends on what time you go by before the end of the Shabbos. So that's when we have to start fasting. So fasting meaning not eating and not drinking, right? At this point, and then at the end of the Shabbos, so Shabbos ends. Let's say I don't know anytime, 9:15. Let's say 9:15 Shabbos ends. So we don't do Havdalah. Remember, we don't do Havdalah, right? Havdalah we make after the end of the Tisha B'Av, meaning at Sunday night. So then we do Havdalah and we can eat and we can drink. So just remember that. And it's proper. Okay, the Sunday nobody works, but if somebody, like some people have different schedules, so it's proper not to work, not to work at all. But if a person did not arrange, okay. So it's proper not to work until after the midday, right? Because it's a very long davening. We have to read the whole book of Eicha. I don't know. So I mean, me personally, I'm a very slow reader. So for me, it takes like a few hours to read it. You understand? So it's a much longer davening, for sure. And we have to sit on the floor. So if person cannot sit on the floor, okay. We sit on a low chair. So what is a low chair? We had said 3 tefachim. So it's like 12 inches, like this high, right? Tops, this high, 12 inches. Like this. But also, if you must eat, so talk to your rabbi, and he's going to give you instructions. So ask you a few questions. I don't want to say it on the camera because people take it out of context and they start diagnose themselves. We don't need that. But of course, this person is sick. He needs to take medicine, drink because somebody is diabetic or this and that. Of course, these people must eat, but there is a special diet, special way to eat and stuff like that. Okay. So any questions? Please go ahead. On what we said? Okay. So if not, that's it. So Beezrat Hashem Mashiach should come before the fast, and he should cancel the fast, and that's it. So we don't have to fast, and this day is going to be a holiday. Beezrat Hashem. All right. So good night, good Shabbos, and until next week. Thank you.
Good.